Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm looking at whether or not the Green Bay Packers should trade Aaron Rodgers to the Las Vegas Raiders. But before we get into that topic, question for those of you viewing, comment down below, especially the Raider fans out there. What would the ideal trade package be from a Raiders standpoint? What would you be willing to give up for Aaron Rodgers? Is it 2 first-round picks and Derek Carr, 3 first-round picks, 4 first-round picks, whatever it is, comment down below and I'll reveal my answer at the end. But getting into this topic, my initial answer is going to be no. I don't think from the Raiders standpoint of view they win. Looking at the Raiders roster, they have a couple of wins on their team. There's a lot of holes on the team, but they have a couple of wins. Those wins being, I like Derek Carr. I think he's a above average quarterback. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. I think he's a very underrated quarterback. You have Josh Jacobs, a top 10 running back. You have Darren Waller, a top 3 tight end. Receiving core, not the best by any means, and Hunter Renfrow and Henry Ruggs, they don't really like those being your number 1 and number 2 guys, but having Darren Waller, he makes up for it. Looking at the defense, again, it was vacant last year. There was no defense to really rely on. And even this year, it's not great, but getting Yannick Ngakoue to help out Jonathan Hankins, getting Trevon Moehrig, getting Casey Hayward to help out Jonathan Abram and Carl Joseph, it's getting there. It's better than last year, and I'm seeing improvement. So they're winning and heading in the right direction. But like I said, one of those wins you already have is Derek Carr, and getting rid of him and putting in Aaron Rodgers is not going to make this an instant Super Bowl team. Of course, if you swap Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers, the team is better. There's no denying that. You're going from a top half quarterback in the league, top 15 to top 2. Obviously, your team is going to improve, but the Raiders have so many holes that Aaron Rodgers just can't make up for them all. He'll hide a couple, and like I said, this will be a better team. They can't make up for an offensive line that's not really getting there. We don't know what Alex Leatherwood is. No one's really in love with that pick. Secondary, I like what they're getting, but again, it's not going to be a lockdown secondary. Defensive line, getting pieces in Yannick Ngakoue, but again, it needs depth and it needs more star power. Receiving core, it's not the greatest either. Aaron Rodgers, he's going to make the team better, but he's not all of a sudden, going to win the division, make a deep playoff run, and carry the Raiders to a Super Bowl. I mean, looking at the two teams, I think if Aaron Rodgers went from Green Bay to Las Vegas, he's going to a worse team. I mean, looking at Green Bay, he's got a decent receiving core. Devontae Adams, a top 2 receiver in the NFL. Robert Tonyan, a top 10 tight end. A top 5 offensive line. A top 8 running back. A defense that has a top 5 cornerback in Jair Alexander, a guy that could shut down absolutely anyone. Aaron Rodgers is going from a pretty good situation to a worse situation when you consider just the roster he's working with. So from both standpoints, I don't exactly agree with it. This Raiders team, I like what they're putting together between Yannick Ngakoue and Trevon Moehrig and Alex Leatherwood possibly, might prove us wrong, Darren Waller. And I do think in 1 to 2 years, after a couple off seasons of free agency in the NFL draft, this could be a serious team to deal with, a serious playoff threat, a serious Super Bowl threat. But right now, there's just too many holes on this team that Aaron Rodgers can't make up for, and I don't want to see them give up future draft capital for a guy that's going to maybe give them a run this year, but even then, I don't think it'd be a serious run. Aaron Rodgers might be able to carry this team to the playoffs 100%, but a playoff win, an AFC championship, a Super Bowl appearance, a Super Bowl win, you're asking for too much at this point. Aaron Rodgers is not going to destroy the Chiefs in the playoffs or go through the best roster in football possibly in the Cleveland Browns or the emerging Josh Allen or the upcoming LA Chargers or the electric Baltimore Ravens. Aaron Rodgers can't carry this team to that nth degree. He can help it, but he can't do absolutely everything for it. Like I said, he was on a better team with the Green Bay Packers. He's not going to go to a worse team and take them to the Super Bowl. So from both point of views, I don't want to see the Raiders give up future draft capital for a team that's not even ready just yet. They need that future draft capital to fill in these holes that can possibly put them in a good spot for the future. And Aaron Rodgers, I don't like it from his point of view because he's going to a lesser team. The one point of view that actually would relatively benefit from this is the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers want a quarterback that can play and start today instead of Jordan Love. They believe in Jordan Love long-term, but they want him to have a mentor to learn from behind, whether that be Aaron Rodgers or a veteran quarterback. They want it to be someone. And in a trade package with the Raiders and Aaron Rodgers, to me, there's no way Derek Carr isn't shipped to Green Bay. So if the Packers got Derek Carr in return, they'd be getting a veteran guy that they can rely on. And Derek Carr could still keep them as a competitive team. They wouldn't be a bottom 5 team in the NFL if you just got rid of Aaron Rodgers and started Jordan Love. If you threw in Derek Carr, they'd still be in contention because Derek Carr is a good quarterback and he's a good guy that Jordan Love can learn from. He's not, if the Packers made another trade with the other possibility of a Denver Broncos, they'd be getting the Drew Lock, who isn't half as good as Derek Carr, in my opinion. They'd be getting Tua Tagovailoa from the Dolphins, who's not as good as Derek Carr. A Daniel Jones for the Giants, who's not as good as Derek Carr. Guys that Jordan Love's not going to learn much from behind. But You put him behind Derek Carr, they're going to get the value and he's going to get the mentorship that the Packers are looking for, and their long-term goal is going to be answered, and they're not going to be a garbage team with Derek Carr. And like I said, it's a good move from the Packers' point of view if they were forced to trade Rodgers, but they're the least committed to trading Aaron Rodgers. So it's just a lose-lose situation from almost every side. The Packers, they don't even really want to give up Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, he's going to a lesser team. And the Raiders, they're giving up future draft capital in which they need. Again, if the trade somehow, some way happened, I don't think it will. The Raiders will be a better team than they were with Derek Carr. But Derek Carr is one of the few things you got going for you. You got to work on other things. You got to give the receiving core more star power. You got to give the secondary a little bit more star power. The front seven a little bit more depth. This team just needs more help outside of the quarterback position. That is one thing you can kind of leave alone. And it's not like this, I'm saying Derek Carr is a spotless quarterback and he's going to do everything for you, but he's one of the things you don't have to worry about. He's reliable, he's consistent, and he can win and lead a football team. And that is one of the better things you have going for you right now. Don't get rid of that and just expect Aaron Rodgers to come in and win it all. And again, Aaron Rodgers with John Gruden, I don't know if those two will exactly mix. They're both very, I don't want to say selfish guys, but they're very set in stone. They're very closed-minded on what they believe in. No one else's opinion matters. What I believe is right. And I'm not saying, nothing against those guys, but I'm just saying I don't know if those two will mix, both of them not being a very open-minded guy. But we'll see. Maybe I could be wrong and they become the next dynasty. I doubt it, but anything is possible. Again, I don't like it from Aaron Rodgers' point of view. I don't like it from the Raiders' point of view, and I don't think it should happen. But if it did, I do think it benefit the Packers the most. If they got, 3 first-rounders and Derek Carr, it's not a bad move. You're still getting a decent quarterback. That Derek Carr is still relatively young. You can still keep him over the next 10 years if you want. Packers do have options, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers would be cool with it, and I don't think the Raiders have enough incentive. But we'll have to see. Again, I don't think it'll happen, but I do want to hear from you guys. What is your opinion? Do you think it will happen, and do you want it to happen? And of course, if so, what would your ideal trade package be? To me, Aaron Rodgers sounds about 3 first-round picks or more. He's a reigning MVP, and yes, I know he's going on 38, but just given comparison, Matt Stafford, a guy that's younger than Rodgers but not as good as Rodgers, went for 2 first-round picks and 2 third-round picks, and Aaron Rodgers being better than Stafford, I think is going to be at minimum worth 3 first-round picks. Like I said, he's older than Stafford, getting up there in age, going on 38, but being the reigning MVP, being a top 2 quarterback in the league, there's no way you don't, at bare minimum, give up 3 first-round picks and maybe a starter like Derek Carr, maybe a starter like a receiver. Who knows? But to me, at the bare minimum, the floor of the trade value for Aaron Rodgers is 3 first-round picks. But of course, like I said, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think he's worth? And as always, guys, thanks for watching.